Oh my god, this really needs to happen at some point. What is going on, guys? MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the high-grade Infinite Justice Gundam Revive from Gundam Seed Destiny. And right off the bat, I have to say, oh my god. The reason why I'm wowed by this because I have the old high grade. It is the first ever kit that I've reviewed on the channel, although it was in Cantonese, so please don't go look it up. But this thing is just like worlds, and I mean worlds better. The color accuracy is, I'm not really too sure because the line arts of Gundam Seed mechs tend to be a little bit darker, but I really love the rich pink over here, and I like just basically the color scheme and how it's executed. I like the proportions, everything's just spot on, and the lack of stickers. The only stickers that you get are the black ones on the chest vents, and of course the eyes and the sensors on the head and on the back of the head. That's basically it for the main body. Color separation is immense, as you can see on the knees and the feet. The vents on the front skirts are basically separated, but it makes the back skirt look a little bit off. Now, I do not know if the back thrusters are supposed to be pink, but they should be painted in gray in my opinion. All in all, this thing on the base look is just pretty good looking. Now, I will have to mention this one thing about the frame because people are curious about the frame. Now, they did some special treatment to the actual frame itself. It's actually silver. Now, you cannot really tell from a glance, but as you could see from the nut marks over here after filing, they actually did the same treatment, albeit to a lesser extent, as the F-Explosion mode of the Gundam A2 Magnum SV. So the frame has been treated with a special silver coating, and it is really nice that it catches the light in certain angles. So all in all, this thing looks top notch. Now, articulation on the Infinite Justice is basically the same as the Justice Knight. You of course have a plastic ball joint and a neck joint for the head. The arms are on that swivel out joint over here, and of course you can swing them up just like so you can shrug. The arms can rotate all the way around very tight, which is very nice. The shoulder armor can move independently, and the arms can move like out that far if you move the shoulder armor away. Rotation above the elbow, a double jointed elbow looking very nice, and a ball jointed wrist. Now, the stomach and waist over here, it does have a joint for you to do some more backward crunches than forward crunches, and of course the waist is on a very thick peg so you can rotate it. Front skirts, they told you to cut it and it stays on pretty well. Side skirts can move outwards and backwards just like the Destiny Gundam. The back skirt can move for the same reason as the Justice Knight, is just to unlock a mechanism. So if you move the back skirt away, you can actually expand the stance of the legs, so you can let it have a wider stance. This will be useful in aerial poses, but for ground poses, it will remain in the same position. So the back skirt, just like the Justice Knight, is not to get out of the way. So the legs can go forwards, like so, backwards, not too much, outwards, over all the way. Rotation at the hip, a double jointed knee, which looks very nice, and more exposure of that very nicely treated silver frame. The ankle guards, they can move up and down like so. The feet then go forwards and back, side to side, rotate a little bit, and the toe can point down. So, and also these back connection pieces can swivel up and down. So all in all, articulation on the Infinite Justice is very good. Like, it's basically the same as the Justice Knight, so I'm not really too wowed by it. So all in all, you can pull off any sort of pose that you really want to. For accessories, let's bring in the signature backpack, the Phantom 01. So this thing does look very nice. I really love the purple that has went into this, and I really love the color separation because if you remember the old high grade, all of the details on the black wings are stickers. All of the things that are not pink on the nose cone over here are stickers. This thing, how many stickers are there? Naff. No stickers at all. Really nice. I love the color separation on the Phantom 01. Now obviously you can display it as the bird mode, as I like to call it, but you can just display as an individual flyer, and in that case you can basically use these two beam effect parts for the wings so as to activate the wing beam sabers. Now they just go in by the pegs on the actual effect parts, so no bending required. You just slot them into the wings and you will be grand. Now the beam effects are activated. So articulation wise, yeah, the wings can fold up and down. The entire wing unit can fold up and down. The cannons can flip 180 degrees. So yeah, they could go pretty loose very soon, I imagine. But for now, they are staying really, really well in their positions. And of course, the cannon turrets over here, they can move out of the way just to get a wider spread. And the nose cone is on the double hinge, so you can flip it back and forth. So, on the underside of the Phantom 01, you have handles that you can flip out. There's also an action base hole over here, so you can plug this individually on the action base. So now the Infinite Justice can hold onto the Phantom 01 for basically being towed by it. And then of course there are pegs over here that can flip up individually for some reason. So those pegs allow you to plug the Phantom 01 onto the back of the Infinite Justice. But if you want to use the Phantom 01 for any other kit, you need to get the Injustice weapon sets for the adapter. Or if you don't, go ahead and just pick up the Justice Knight. Now, the main reason for the turrets to swivel is to basically allow the Phantom 01 to be flipped up and clear the V-fin into their position. So, unlike the old high grade, you do not need to take off the head in order to bring up the Phantom 01. And unlike the old high grade, there are no pegs on the torso for the Phantom 01 to stick onto there. But due to the joints, it stays on really, really well in this position, so you do not need to worry about falling back. And of course, with the correct leg positions, it can obviously stand with the Phantom 01 deployed. So next up we have the beam rifle right here. The pink are stickers, so you may want to paint those in, but the black and white are plastic pieces, so it's very, very well color separated. It does also have a movable scope, so you can adjust that to your own liking, and you simply let the Infinite Justice hold it by putting it into the hand. Not going to cover the hand up because it can also be stored on the back skirt using the peg over here. So you can just basically plug that onto the back skirt just like so. Very nice. Next up, the beam sabers. Now the beam sabers is a point of attention because I am very, very confused about the beam sabers. Now obviously the handles are missing the purple, so you want to paint those in, but as it's stored right now, it's very, very solid, but unfortunately you cannot just pull them out because it is actually plugged onto the pink piece over here. So you have to merely separate it in order to pull the beam saber out, or if you want to be safe, pull the entire pink piece off. So yeah, the storage mechanisms is kind of confusing to me, but at least the beam sabers will not fall off when you're just posing it around. Now take a good look at the beam sabers. Now I like the indents over here, but they need to be painted purple, but otherwise it is just a regular beam saber. So the kit actually provided you with a custom set of beams. Now visually they do not look different from the SB13 beams, but if I bring in the Gundam's beam saber, which uses the SB13 beams, you cannot plug it on because the peg is a little bit too big. So these beams are custom made for the Infinite Justice, so only it can use the beams that came in this kit. So that's a little bit unfortunate. They could have gone for giving this thing like the SB13 beams and attached all the rest of the beam effect parts onto the same plate, but I do not know why they did this. But you all remember the signature double saber. Here it is. Now I attached the other beam saber effect onto here, so I do not have to worry about losing it. Now it is a separate piece. Now both of the sabers are actually connected here. Why did they not use the clips like they used from the Freedom or the Strike Freedom? Not really too sure about that. But yeah, how they executed this is still really confusing to me because why did they do this? Now maybe it is to implement the indents over here, but I'm not really too sure. Also at the same time, the beam saber effects, at least mine, are a little bit loose in there, so you may want to be cautious about that. But otherwise, you can just allow the Infinite Justice to hold the double saber in the hand, and yeah, maybe not get weirded out by the sabers still being somehow stored in the skirts while they use the double beam saber. Next up is going to be the beam carry shield. Now I really like how it looks like. It is very, very well color separated, very much better than the old high grade. It is smaller from what I'm seeing than the old high grade, and yeah, it does have a lot of cool functions. Of course it can function as a shield, but yeah, this thing just uses this regular peg, so you can use the shield on any other connector as long as the connector is not a ball joint. So you can plug it onto either of the 4 holes on the forearms. So you just plug that on, and it does have a plethora of functions. That's why it's called the carry shield. So stored in here is the beam boomerang right here, and you do get a very dinky beam effect part. The vigor on the beam effect is akin to the real grade Astray red frame, but its length is a point that I'm on the fence about because it is very short. Now if I plug the beam boomerang back onto the shield, look at this, it's just dinky looking. The old high grade does it better, I must admit, because the beam effect is relatively longer. So the beam emitter is actually articulate, so you can actually make it into an actual boomerang and allow the Infinite Justice to hold it by the hand. Next up, we do also have the beam shield. So you can just simply remove this piece over here and then bring in the beam shield effect parts and just plug it back on. Very simple. It does look really nice. I like the shade of blue that it is in. And then finally, you have the clamp that is stored inside of it. So remove the top piece, and then I may need some mechanical help. There we go, got it. And the clamp is actually articulate, so you can open and close it. And this kit does come with a wire, so you can plug the clamp onto the wire and plug the wire back into the top of the shield here. And then you just plug it back on, and then you will have the clamp sent out. But the wire is so weak, it cannot hold the clamp up. It's just drooping. So in my opinion, this is the weakest function of the beam carry shield, but I think it is good if you want to send the clamp out. Unfortunately, I don't think it is a well implemented feature. Maybe if the wire is a little bit stronger, then I might say otherwise. Also, I forgot, the triangle on the shield is a sticker. And then finally, we should talk about the leg beam saber effects. So yeah, you can recreate the iconic kick of the Infinite Justice Gundam. So basically what you want to do is to plug the indented end onto the top piece and the flat end onto the bottom. So plug it onto the bottom first and then adjust the positions, and then just plug the top end onto the top of the leg. So here we can execute Atheron's signature kick. So that's gonna wrap it up for the accessories of the Infinite Justice Gundam. So we do get some extra leftover pieces in this kit, mainly the Justice Knight side skirts. So if you want to use these for customization to create a custom Infinite Justice, go right ahead. The stand is not included, by the way, but let's move on to comparisons. So first of all, of course, we have to bring in the old Infinite Justice. And oh my god, they are worlds apart. And let's bring in the normal Gundam, just to have a quick comparison. And then we will have to bring in the Alice Earth 3 Gundam. This is a voice actor joke if you get it. And then finally, we will bring in the Destiny Gundam. So that's gonna wrap it up for the Infinite Justice Gundam review. What do I think of this kit? Well, there are cons. First of all, the beam sabers. Why no clamp? Why no custom connector? Why custom beams? I'm not sure. Second of all, weak wire, cannot hold up a clamp, so yeah, I guess you can forget about that. And then finally, the lack of customization on the chest and the arms, because the socket is inside of the shoulders, so you cannot really use the arms on any other kit other than the Barzam, Destiny, and the Justice Knight. So with those out of the way, let's move on to the pros. Really immense color separation, which is phenomenal, exemplary I might add. And the engineering of the Phantom 01 is very nice. The Infinite Justice itself is pretty good. So yeah, this thing functions well, plays well, it's a fun build, and looks nice as well. So I am gonna give this thing a 9 out of 10. Now the issues I mentioned, you can easily forget about them if you don't care about them or if you don't plan to use them. So you can easily brush them off to the side, and you will have a pretty good kit on your hands. So I would absolutely strongly recommend you guys to go ahead and pick up the Infinite Justice Revive. So that's it for me. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you did like it, please be sure to drop a like, comment, and also subscribe for more Gunpla reviews, Gunpla news, and all that kind of stuff. Subscribe to the featured channels on my channel page if you haven't, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out, guys. Bye bye.